Hi everyone, my name is Karen, this is my channel RatherBeReading, and today I'm bringing to you my March marked as to read video. So guys, I'm actually filming this video at night, which is really exciting. I've always struggled with finding time to film during the day. Daylight savings ends in Australia this weekend, and having to film during daylight hours when I don't get home until after it's dark, and I'm really only able to film on the weekends, and then if I have a busy weekend and I don't get time to film, that can just stuff up, you know, my videos for the whole month. So since I moved, I haven't really tested filming in my new place, and I think that just generally the overhead lights in this place are a lot better. And also, I don't even know where I saw it, but someone mentioned that they use the light from their phone, and I was just like, oh, I haven't tried that. And just having my phone here with the light, like using the light on my iPhone, I think is just lighting me enough that it's not completely shit. I will still try to film the majority of my videos in daylight, but it's just good to have this as kind of a backup, that if I do have a busy weekend, I don't get time to film, that I can film a video at night. I mean, I have kind of a shadow behind me, but I think generally like my face and everything is pretty clear. So let me know down below if you think that this is like alright quality. I would love to know. But for the marked as to read video, and today is the 29th of March. We have a couple of days to go, but so far in the month of March I have marked 10 books as to read. So let's jump in and talk about all of those books. The first book that I marked as to read on Goodreads in the month of March is Kindred by Octavia Butler. Now, I have seen quite a few people talking about this book recently. The main person who inspired me to mark it as to read was Kirsty over at Melbourne on My Mind. Everything I've heard about this book so far has been really positive, and it just sounds really amazing. I believe this is the first science fiction novel to ever be published by an African American woman, so that's really amazing, and it just sounds really interesting. It's about an African American woman, I believe from the 70s, I think, and she is transported back in time to like slave era America, and she's not really sure like what's going on. And I think it kind of comes out that the whole reason like she's being transported back is to save this white man who is a slaver, and she's obviously got real problems with that, but she needs to save him, I believe, because he is like one of her ancestors, but he is a slaver. So there's a lot like going on. It just sounds really amazing. I don't think I've heard anyone say anything bad about it. I believe this is a book that was published quite some time ago, like it's not a recent release or anything like that, but obviously, as I said, it's the first book, science fiction novel to be published by an African American woman, so it is like, you know, it's not a recent release, as I say, but I am really excited to pick this book up at some stage. The next book I want to talk about is Girl in the Woods, a memoir by Aspen. This book was actually recommended to me by Novel Expectations on my February marked as to read video. She hasn't actually read it, but she described it as being like Wild by Cheryl Strayed, which is a book that I marked as to read last month. This is a memoir about a girl who has recently been raped, and she is dealing with kind of all the aftermath of this like very traumatic event, and she's really struggling with it when she decides to, I believe, do the Pacific Coast or whatever it is trek, and she goes on that, and it's about kind of like her healing and self-discovery and all those things. It sounds really good. I'm definitely interested in memoirs and things like that. I've mentioned a couple of times rape culture is something that I'm very like interested in reading about and very passionate about generally. So I definitely sounds like a book that I really would like enjoy reading. The next book that I marked as to read is Never Let You Go by Chevy Stevens. I haven't read anything by Chevy Stevens, but I have marked another book by her as to read previously. So she's definitely an author that I'm obviously interested in her stories. Now, I actually saw this book in a post on Goodreads about the books hitting shelves today. I'm going to read you the little, like the few things that it said about it on that post, and that was psychological thriller, stalker and home invasions, strong mother-daughter relationships, crazy plot twists. So that was enough to intrigue me. I believe this is about a woman who has escaped an abusive relationship. I believe her husband is in jail, and it's now been years past, and she has a teenage daughter, and when her ex-husband is released from jail, and then things start to, she believes someone is watching her and like all these things are happening and she's not sure if it's her ex-husband or kind of what's going on. It just sounds really interesting, like something that would be like a really like kind of fun psychological thriller just to like keep you on the edge of your seat, and I'm really into those kind of reads, so it's definitely something I want to look into. The next book I want to talk about is Grim Woods by D Mel Ha. I saw this on Let's Talk About Books. I believe it was in a book haul that she posted, and I don't even really know exactly what this is about, but it's basically fairy tale murders. That is enough for me. That is so intriguing. It just looks really cool, really interesting, and like definitely something I want to check out. Next we have Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pennsboro. This is a psychological thriller that's been starting to get a little bit of buzz, and it sounds really intriguing. It's about a girl who is out one night and she has this kind of random like hookup with this guy, and then the next Monday she goes to work and this guy that she had the random hookup with is her boss. Now, the thing I love about this is that that sounds like the setup to like a new adults type novel. This, however, then has the twist that not only is he her boss, but he is also married. She then runs into this woman who's like new to town and like in need of a friend, and it turns out that that woman is this guy's wife. And she starts to discover, I believe, that maybe this guy is not like a great guy, and that there's some like something really weird going on in their relationship. That's all I really know about it, so I don't know kind of what the, like anything more in depth than that, but it has me getting a bit of buzz. Chapter Stacks just posted a review of this actually, and I don't normally watch reviews of books that I haven't read, but I really love her and her videos, so I did watch the review. It is a spoiler-free review, and she had really like interesting things to say about it. She mentioned that there is no possible way like ever that you'll guess the ending, and if you say that you guess the ending then you're lying, and that is just enough for me to just be like, oh my god, I want to read this so bad because I just want to know how it ends. Even though I haven't read it yet, I just want to know how it ends. So definitely a book that hopefully I'll read soon because it just sounds really, really fun. Next, I have The Polygamist Daughter by LeBaron. This is another book that was in a post about hitting shelves today on Goodreads. Not the same post, a different post. I seem to get a lot of book recommendations from those posts. This is an autobiography, like memoir, about a girl who was in a cult, and I believe her father had like more than 80 children or something like that, and her father was a notorious like cult leader who murdered people who tried to leave his cult, and he's got like a bazillion children. I believe it's about her escaping the cult and about like her life in the cult and like after escaping from the cult. I've said before, cults are one of my massive buzzwords. I love autobiographies about cults because I just find the whole like mentality and everything that goes on so interesting, but I also love fiction around cults. Just anything cult related I'm really, really into. I have read a couple of memoirs in the past about people in cults. I normally like really enjoy just like finding out, like I said, about all the like psychological things that go on within it. I find it really fascinating, so I definitely like a book that I think would be a really interesting read. Next, I want to talk about The Secrets You Keep by Kate White. This is another book that was mentioned in that same hitting shelves today post on Goodreads. This one is a mystery thriller novel about a woman who is like a successful self-help author, and she has recently been in a very traumatic car accident from which she's still recovering. And at the beginning, after it happened, her husband was very, very supportive. However, her and her husband have recently moved into a new home, and her husband has started to become really distant and evasive and just really weird, and she doesn't know what's going on. Then I believe a woman, I think it says that's hired to cater a party or something like that they're having, is found brutally murdered, and then more women start to die, and it's just about her kind of, I think, trying to unravel what's going on in her life and her husband and these women who are being murdered, and it just sounds really good. I don't know if you can tell, but I love a good mystery thriller and psychological thriller. Those are the kind of like plots that I just, when you hear them, I'm like, ooh, that sounds really good, and I just like really want to read it. So yeah, this is another one that I'd really like to read at some point. The next book I marked as to read is Done Dirt Cheap by Sarah Nicole Lemon. Now this is one that I actually saw Aoife talking about in one of her weekly wrap-ups, and she just made it sound so interesting, and it actually sounds like something that's like right up my alley. I believe this is a young, I'm not sure if it's young adult, like new adult story about, there's two girls. One of them is like the daughter of someone who like runs a motorcycle club, and the other one is someone who is sent in like undercover to help kind of bring down this motorcycle club. I believe they form some kind of friendship, these two girls, and it's just kind of that's what the book is about. When Aoife described this, the main things that I took away from what she said was that it has really like good female friendship like topics in it, which female friendships and just like friendship themes in general are another one of my buzzwords, some of my totally favorite things to read about. And then she also said that it was really gritty and really sexy, and like all of those things combined, it just sounds like really good. And like I said, Aoife had really positive things to say about it, and I had seen the cover and I think I'd heard a few people talk about it but hadn't really taken that much in, but Aoife definitely sold me on it, and it's definitely something I want to read. Next we have The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I'm sure you all know exactly what this book is. It's been getting absolutely massive BookTube buzz. I haven't heard a bad review of it, like literally not a bad word said about this book. This is a young adult novel inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement, about an African American girl whose best friend, who's African American, also is shot by a white police officer in front of her, and it's just about that. As I say, I haven't heard a bad word against it. It sounds like a really important book, and like I say, people are loving it, so I really do want to pick this one up so that I can experience what everyone else is experiencing and seeing why everyone loves this book as much as they do. And the final book that I want to talk about is The Girl Before by J.P. Delaney. I saw this book on yet another post from Goodreads. This one was a post about the 2017 releases that were being added most often to people's 2017 reading challenges. So I clicked into that article because that's just a really interesting topic to me, and this was a book that was on there that intrigued me. It's a mystery thriller, surprise surprise. It's about a woman who's had a traumatic experience, and then she's looking for somewhere new to live, and she ends up being really intrigued by this house that is like really different and modern, and I think like it's to rent, but there's all these rules about renting it, like you can't have any personal belongings, like, you know, no photos, you can't put anything up, no cushions, like you can't have any personal effects. But then it also mentions another woman who also finds the house, and it's saying that while she's living there, she discovers about the untimely death of the previous occupant, which I'm not sure, but it seems like maybe it's the woman from the first, like that I talked about before. I don't know, it's really hard to tell, it's a bit vague, who knows. I'm sure that's probably one of the aspects of the plot, is finding out, I guess, exactly how these people are linked. And it's about her, she starts to experience the same things that this woman, previous occupant who died, experienced. It just sounded really interesting. It's got mixed reviews, but it's a very intriguing plot that I feel like is probably the type of plot that's hit or miss for some people. So it is probably going to be like a polarizing book. You're probably either going to really like the plot or you're not going to like it. Hopefully I'll like it. I don't know. I probably won't read this one for like, who knows when I'll read it, but it is a book that definitely intrigues me and I definitely want to read in the future at some point. So those are all of the books that I marked as to read in the month of March. If you have any thoughts on any of these books, I would love to chat with you guys in the comments down below, especially if you've read any of them, or any books that you guys have been really excited about that you've been marking as to read on Goodreads. I would love to chat in the comments down below. Please do let me know how this lighting is, if this is like alright to do every now and again. I will say, from having actually filmed, that having the light of my iPhone there, I keep glancing at it and then like slightly blinding myself and having black speckles in front of my eyes, and it is very annoying that I can't use my phone while I'm filming because I refer to stuff on my phone normally all the time. So I've got my laptop on this side of me that I have to keep referring to, and it's just like a lot more clunky to have to use my laptop than my phone, but these are all things we'll just have to work with so that hopefully I can keep up with posting really regularly and we won't have any hiccups now that daylight savings is ending. Anyway, I would love to chat with you guys in the comments down below. Please like this video if you liked it. Please subscribe if you want to see more from my channel. But that's all I've got for this video today. Bye guys.